lot at hand. Tremendous matchups across the league, and we have a great one in our division coming up on Sunday night. This is a game that's going to call for everything. They're tough. They're winning. They got confidence. They get after you at home. They're going to have a great crowd, noise, all that kind of stuff. It's a great challenge for us. Our guys, not probably to surprise you, are really excited about this opportunity to go do this. But we know we're up against it, and so I think these are kind of the classic NFC West matchups. You know, defense is going to get after it and try to run the football on both sides and all that, and we'll slug it out and see what happens. So looking forward to it.
Any better feel for Little League today than you had Monday?
Well, we've done our homework. You know, we've watched his plays, and we've done everything we can to dig back. You know, when he played before and all that. So yeah, he's a big, strong-arm guy, and he's been around enough. They're gonna, I'm sure, stay very much like they've been. You know, very much on the attack in the throwing game. And when he came in, they didn't change that, so we expect to see the same.
How impressive is what that team has done this year, given all the guys they've been losing all year?
Yeah, they lost guys before they even started. You know, they came up short on a couple guys right out of the chutes, and they haven't wavered the whole year, and they've done it with a great formula, one that we really respect. You know, playing defense and teams and getting after the football, and the turnovers have been a huge factor for them during this year, and so whatever losses they had to endure, they have, and they handled it really well, and Bruce has done a great job to keep these guys on track, and their style has not altered at all. You know, they've been within the same formula throughout, and it's been, obviously very successful.
Having Larry back, how does that change their passing game?
He's one of the best that's ever played, so that changes everybody, and it affects them and what they can do and what they hope to do, and it also affects us too. So we have tremendous respect for him and his play, and he's an all-around football player. He does everything. He blocks well and catches well and runs well, can make big plays and all of that. So he's a great asset to any team. He would be.
What are the kind of unique challenges about their defense compared to maybe what you've seen this year?
They're probably more willing than anyone else that we played to be aggressive and to go after you and really just call the pressures when in situations where some teams wouldn't do it. They're very bold, and Todd does a great job of getting after it, and their attitude their attitude is part of their style. You can see it in the players and the way that they play and the chances that they take and all of that, and they've given people problems all year long. Later the game, the more aggressive they get, and they've had great success in the fourth quarter because of that.
Any clear idea of Russell Okun's availability for Sunday?
No, but he's still in the mix, so he's going to have some stuff done tomorrow that will let us know where he sits and all that. So he's not out of the plan yet.
Why are your team so good in prime time games?
I don't know. We've worked real hard to be comfortable in those situations. It's not. We don't change to play in those opportunities, and I don't want that kind of a moment to change what we are, who we are, and so we work hard to understand that. But I don't know. That's me guessing how it works. I don't know.
Along those lines, how much do you think the intangibles of this core, having been through the big games, the Super Bowl, matters in a week like this?
I think it matters. Yeah, I think it matters. These guys have been through a lot of big games, and they're excited about knowing how hard this one is and the challenge of it. That's what you hope your team feels like, and these guys get that. We talk throughout the calendar about each game. We approach it like it's a championship game. Sometimes you play a championship game at home, and sometimes you got to play them on the road, and you got to be ready for both. And this is what this one really is all about. This is going to be a great setting. It's going to be very difficult. They couldn't be more fired up, and they should be like that for the great season they've had. And it presents us with the opportunities that we've felt before, and we got to excel and do all the things like we normally do. Hopefully we'll do that.
What kind of things accounted for the 7 sacks in the first game between you and Cardinals?
They're really good up front, and they come after you, and they take shots at you, and we miss some, and we missed them on some pickups, and then they beat us on some stuff, and we're not going to change our style of play for them. We don't do that for anybody, and so we have to play a lot better. 7 sacks in a game like this one could mean the difference in the game, and so we're taking big account of that. And hopefully we can fix it.
Monday, you talked a little bit about kind of focusing on the quicker rhythm passing game and stuff. How important is that against a team that will burn pressure?
Well, it's certainly important. It's important all the time. We're just trying to get better at it. It's just showed up in the last few weeks like we'd like to see it, and hopefully we can continue to get it done. Stay on rhythm, and not give their rush in their games and their stunts, a chance to really formulate and so we'll see what happens. But it's real important to us. So it's an important part of our throwing game that we'd like to excel at more so than we are now.
How did Alvin Bailey play when he played, and then just his general progression over the last couple?
He made it through it. I think he can play a lot better. He's played better earlier in the year. I think he'll play better, kind of with the preparation if Russell can't go, and the prep during the week will make it, and the added reps and the communications and all that kind of stuff will help him. He does a lot of stuff for us. So during the course of the week, he plays different positions all the time, and that's what he did last week. And this will really help him. Max won't practice today. He had a tough recovery from from Friday's practice, and so he's going to be not going today. We'll see what he is tomorrow. We're taking it one day at a time now. It's close enough where we have a chance.
As much stuff as you're doing with Bruce Irvin, is that just a continuation of his skills, or was it something you saw early that you thought you'd be able to work with?
No, really, we always thought that he was a really versatile football player. We brought him in to rush the passer, which he's doing on third down, and we wanted to find out what he could do at his other stuff. In his workouts coming out, he kept kind of hammered that he didn't look like a linebacker to a lot of the scouts and other teams. That was kind of the word on the street, and we needed to find out. We think that we're using him in a way that allows him to use all of this stuff. He's really quick. He can run really fast. He's a really natural cover guy. Remember, he was a safety in junior college, so he has all of the skills that you want. So we think that, at the sandbag spot for us, we can use all that and still get him as a future third down guy. So it's worked out, and he's learned his position well. He'll continue to improve, though. He's still young at it, but we're happy with the progress that he's made, and he's really playing much more physical at the point of attack on the edge like we like, and he's taking pride in that. So he just continues to develop. He's got a couple more years of really growing with the position, before I think he'll really reach the top of his game.
This is the 4th time in 5 years that you guys have had the division championship in your sights in December. How much can you lean on that experience that you've had, and what do you lean on this time of the year?
Well, I think it's important if you're going to play at your best and perform at a really high level, you got to feel comfortable with the setting, and if you're uncomfortable and you're not sure, it can make a difference and distract you some, and so we have that going for us. We feel very good about that. We know we've been in winning situations in December, and it's been a it's been the chance for us to do some really good things, and we've come through it for a good part of that. And so we have a good history, we got background, and we feel confident that we can get it done. And we're not going to this game thinking we're unfamiliar with it, or it's going to be something that we don't know how to handle, or what's up. We don't feel like that at all. So that comes from years of experience and being through it, and a bunch of young guys now that they're pretty well experienced at these kinds of the timing of these kinds of games.
More clarity on Moyaki's set.
No, he was out there today, but it's one day at a time. He's got to show us that he can play. Coop will practice full speed today, which is good. So we have some choices there.
What are your observations from afar of the job that Arians you kind of see him as an assistant, as a potential head coach in Wisconsin?
Yeah, I did know about him. I don't know him well, but I did know about him because some of my friends had coached with him, and everybody really talked highly of him from way back. I mean, he's I think a real obvious guy for a Coach of the Year candidate. I think he's done all of the things that you hope to see a guy do. He's shown consistency and style and the ability to endure hardships and issues and stuff. He's done a great job. So, what I like about Bruce, he's got a great style. I think he's got it's not just a hat. He's more than that. He's just got great style about his football, and I really admire that.
When you talk about being used to the environment and not being phased or distracted, does that impact some of the things you do with the team in other parts of the year in terms of inviting people in, having people speak? It seems like you're a coach that kind of welcomes what other teams might consider to be distractions.
Well, I think, there's a lot of things that we do to try and kind of create a little bit of chaos, and so that we get comfortable there. There's noise, there's music, there's stuff going on. There's a lot of things that our guys have to learn how to shift gears well and handle, from the serious times to the fun times to, getting their butt chewed or whatever it is. There's all kinds of stuff that we go through that I think gets them in the right mentality to handle a lot of things at the same time. We'd like us to be multidimensional as a team, not be distracted, not be confused by what's going on the outside. So if that's what you're getting at, that is something that we attempt to get done.
Did that start for you at USC? Was it something that you used previously in New England and the Jets?
Well, everything was chaotic back in the Jet days. It wasn't just what I was trying to create, but it has always been kind of a performance thought that you want to be comfortable with a lot of stuff going on around you, in my mind. So I've always thought that it was important to try to get people comfortable in the moment when things are the most intense, and so I have many more tactics now and how to kind of move in and out of that, and it really emphasized it for the most part at SC. That's when it came more to the front. I was trying to do stuff way back when, but I didn't have as much order to it as I do now.
Did you talk to John Ryan at all after, the couple of drops, or did you just figure that's never going to really happen to him again and it just kind of is what it is? Or
yeah, I think I told you guys, maybe I didn't. I thought I said that I told him for that to have happened, that was like 1 in a million, and so we don't have to worry about that because we probably won't be around when that next time rolls up again, so he'd be okay.
Why is Paul Richardson the right fit at kickoff return for you you guys want to see the best time?
Well, he really likes it and wants to do it, and as does Doug, and there's some other guys clamoring for it. But that's first attitude. He's got great skill and he's really fast. And so when you put a guy back there, if he does get a crack and the chance to go, he can score with it. He's a very tough kid too, and has a great mentality about the physical side of the game. So even though he didn't look like he would be like that, because he's a little slight, but he's got a great attitude, and he's a very tough, mentally kind of driven kid.
He's getting close to maybe popping one, or
We need to block better. We've had a couple returns last couple of weeks that we're really disappointed in. We made some mistakes up front. It had nothing to do with him.
How do you feel John Pierre has filled in for Max over the last few weeks? How big of a benefit has it been getting him back in?
It's been a tremendous benefit because he really knows our system, and he could communicate it really well. And when the shock of losing your play caller up there is difficult, and Patrick did really well when he played and did some really good stuff. But we thought that Lem could kind of blend it all together best, and he's done a nice job of that. Both those guys are capable of playing for us, though.
Halftime Sunday, Tom Cable, I guess, got into the drill pretty well. How often does that happen in terms of a halftime adjustment? When you really have to?
Only at the right times. It just depends on the game. That's not out of character for Tom or for Dan Quinn to get after the defensive guys. At halftime, or myself. If it's called for it. I thought Tom was right on it, and he was very specific about his critique of what happened in the first half, and we fixed the stuff that he addressed almost immediately. And we came right out running the football. I remember the first 4 or 5 plays, we moved the ball on the ground, and the guys answered the call and really set everything in motion for that second half comeback.
Speaking of Dan Quinn, why has he been such a good fit?
He's a fantastic person, to deal with. He's a great communicator. He's a gifted ball coach. He gets it. He has great sense for the game and all of that. I love working with him. Communicating with Dan is like flawless. We realized that when in the first year, when he and Gus were here doing stuff, and knew at the time if there was ever an opportunity, he would be a great fit for us to bring him back. Gus opened the door for him, and so we did that. But the reason I had such a sense for him is because of the guys he had worked with before, and guys that had recommended him to me. Bill McPherson down at the Niners had been with him, and Bill was one of my closest confidants in ball, and he swore by him. That was before I ever knew Dan, and knew him at all, and then just came to know him quickly, and he's an easy guy to be around, and he's done so many things right. He's just done so many things right here, handling the transition to the coordinator job, handling a bunch of guys that have a pretty good opinion of themselves and about what they're capable of doing, and molding a bunch of young guys into a great unit, and in every phase. And he works beautifully with the staff too.
Philosophically, this time of year, what's your philosophy in general, not to Quinn or anybody else, about interest from other teams about your assistants?
Yeah, thanks for asking that. When these guys come to work here, I tell them from the moment that we start talking that I'm going to help them get any job that they want, and to achieve the goals that they have for themselves. And I work really hard for our guys to get whatever they're after. And it doesn't always work out that way, that they get the jobs that they want. But I really mean that. I want them to be the best they can possibly be, and if I can help them do that, I'm going to do it. And I know that makes it hard at times on us. But I want the next guy coming in to know the exact same thing. If you come here, we're going to help you as much as we can to help you be the best you can possibly be. And that doesn't just mean it comes during recommendation time. You know, this is in the process of trying to help guys find their best manners, their best way, their best understanding of how to present their philosophy and their approach. And so we work at that really throughout the year. And in my mind, everybody's going. Everybody's moving on, and they're going to, and I'm hoping that they get those chances. So, I've been that way for a long time, and we've endured it, and it's worked out, and it gives us a chance to really have a great place for somebody to come to also. And, I wished it would have been like that for me, and it wasn't always, and sometimes it was, sometimes it wasn't. And I just decided a long time ago that I was going to help our guys in that manner. And so.
If need be this time of year, despite playoff push and everything else, you'll carve out time and discuss that with whoever we've been calling.
Yes. Yep. I'm okay. I can fit my day together and still do that.
Have you always, your kind of philosophy of how important turnovers are and everything, is that, I know it's an obvious thing maybe, but has it always been that in your mind, or was there any sort of moment where you realized?
Really, I honestly, I caught on to that when my first year I was ever coaching, and it was back at UOP when I was a secondary coach, my first time ever, and it was in my second year of coaching. I coached receivers the first time, but we set aside our sights on leading the nation in interceptions, at the time, and I just did that for a goal. But I saw you can pay a special if you do it right. You can make a tremendous emphasis come to light, and so I've been kind of on that ever since, and so. I later realized how crucial it is to the wins and losses, and it's become really the primary philosophy about our football is taking care of football and getting after it, and it's all about the ball. So it's really was indicative in the SC years. You could really see those numbers. The numbers were tremendously in our favor, and it's just always been a mainstay of our program.
Anything else?